This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this pop-up live trading session. The market has just opened and we are down 82 points so far in the ES, which is the S&P 500. We are down almost 4.5% on the RTY after being down about 2% for the last 2 days. So this is what we were expecting. We were talking about that the market is ridiculously overbought and that we have things that are going up or that are not even in business, like AMC theaters, cruise ships, airlines that were going ridiculously high, and we have companies like it's almost every company out there that we can trade that's big, that's up a significant amount. Is it seems crazy. Only thing is probably not. Well, it's still crazy. Amazon is the only thing that's probably out of these big companies that are up are still making or making more than what they were making before COVID-19. Um, I'm sure even Walmart's price revenue was down because they were having limited amount of people in their stores at a time. We heard about Starbucks yesterday that they're going to have to close I think about 400 stores because they lost about $2 billion in the quarter because of COVID-19. So these are companies that were open, never closed, have a decent amount of business coming through drive-through and stuff like that, but they still was affected. But this market is acting like the world is great, everything is better than it was before COVID-19, and it's go go go. So but this is only the first down day. We might even cut this in half because people are buying. It's still momentum, and the momentum hasn't changed. And one day doesn't change what has occurred, right? But this is the first decent down day that we've had in some time. So now, if we can just see this market stay in a decent range, that would be great, right? Because it sucks when it's going up every day, and then obviously it's no fun when it's going down super fast. 5% moves are not fun, regardless if you are short or not, because the volatility increases. As you can see today, volatility is back over 30. The cash is over 31. That was an indicator with us going up, hitting all-time highs on the Nasdaq, and the volatility up or down just a very small or a small amount. And we have, it never really dropped the way it should have been, right? When the Nasdaq was at its all-time high in February, the volatility was under 12. The cash, the VIX. I mean, it was over 10,000 yesterday, and volatility was still over 27. So that was a tale that, or still a tale that's something is not right out there. And you hear people talking about retail people buying stuff like American Airlines and United Airlines and things like that, and buying cruise ships, and that's what's causing them to go up. That to me is ridiculous because they don't have enough capital to super succeed the institutions, the big hedge funds and things like that. That makes no sense to me. We have institutions out there buying this stuff. We have hedge funds out these buying these things. We have mutual funds. All these people, I believe, is buying these things and just lost their mind, in my opinion. Obviously, you have some retail people doing it as well, but I don't think that their capital could stop or have something go up as much as it has based on if you have professionals traders that I just mentioned selling. That it just doesn't make any sense to me. But with that said, I would have some small adjustments today. Do the seesaw process that I talked about, right? Stay mechanical. If your put side is being tested, adjust based on your deltas. Don't just based on emotion. Don't adjust because you think it's going down more tomorrow. Adjust based on your deltas. Okay, that is the key. And try to adjust small because this is only one day. This is the first big down day we've had in over 2 weeks. So why? I'm talking about the S&P, the NQ, the Dow, stuff like that. Obviously, the Russell's been down for 3 straight days. Maybe that was an indicator. I don't know, but the Nasdaq was super strong while everything else was down a little bit the last 2 days. But just do the seesaw process. When I talk about the seesaw process, I'm talking about something similar to what I'm about to point out here. You see that in this IWM, I'm in the money now on this 140 with 36 days to go. It's a 3-point move. And if we go and look at this, I was adjusting this before, and now it's basically in the money or about to or at the money, because you can see this price here that it's 140. I'm basically at the money here, and my call side is way over here at the 18, right? So when I say the seesaw effect, I mean something similar to this. So let's just say I decide that I'm going to move this a little bit, because this is the fine risk trade. I was talking about something like this last night in the QQQ. It's a fine risk trade, so I'm okay if this goes in the money a little bit, because it's just a small amount that I could potentially lose, even though I'm obviously not planning on losing this. But I think the market was up to create too much, and I just haven't had time to look at this account as much as I should. So, but I just say I adjust this, and I adjusted 2 strikes here because I think it's down quite a bit already. So let's just say I go like this, and I look to, it's going to cost me about 1,500 if I get filled. I'm doing what we call a full rollaway, and they're not going to fill you at the mid these days. Even look at that. That is at, I'm asking for 13. It's jumping around quite a bit, so it's not really 13. It's probably, let's see if we can get filled at 14. So it's going to be about $17 if we round up, and we got filled, and we just took it off. Did that again. I do that quite often. Let's do a similar order. I only did 1 contract. I should have did 2. So it wasn't $16. It was actually, let's say 17 plus 17 times 2. We need $34, and we're going to bring up the call side, and I'm not afraid to bring up this call side. As I was telling you that's yesterday, that's the 18. I'm just trying to show you example what I would do. This is only 1 contract on the call side, so let's just say I brought this up to the 52, and we're going to keep it 3 points wide. So well, I can't keep it 3 points wide that way, because it's at the, I already have something on the 55, so I'm going to go like this. All right, so I'm going to move this up to here. It's going to give me 26. It's going to give me $25. We need 34. Then I'm going to sell another one to equal out the sides. Okay, so we're going to send this. They're not going to fill me at what I want, because that's just not going to be, that's just not right in this world of, in this market world we live in now. All right, so I got to move that down a little bit, and let's see, we get 24. That's not working, and let's go and try it again. It's trading at 25. Let's try 26. There's no, it's jumping around. I'm gonna try to get that. Come on. All right, so that did not work, and let's see if they give it to me at 25. Just trying to show you this for demonstration purposes. All right, so that got filled. We need about $10 more. So we're gonna sell this, and you can see I'm getting way more because I had to add another one. So I'm gonna send that now, and we're obviously not gonna get filled. And I'm treating this like the 25 delta, but I couldn't do the 25 exact 25 because of that position I had on already to do this full roll up. So we're gonna drop that down a little bit and see if we can get filled at 7 and keep the $70. And I are not getting filled yet. I'm asking for, it's dropping. I'm asking for 73. We're gonna have to go down a little bit to get this filled. That's 67. All right, so we got filled at 67. If you go to history really quickly, you'll see what I'm talking about. We're gonna go to yesterday, and then we're gonna go back to today, and it's just gonna be this IWM trade. It's a bunch of them because I did it wrong initially, but you can see that I got way more credit than I need here. This is the fees. If you track that, that's about $10, right? So I got about $58 in this adjustment, and that was that. Last night I was showing you the QQQ. I was in the money by 2 strikes on the QQQ on the call side. If we go, and I said I didn't I expected the market to go down, so I did not adjust it too much. It's 8 days to go. You can see now the put side is being threatened a little bit. The call side is at the 37 now. It was in the money. It looked like this last night. I'm just going to let this sit because once again, this is just the first down day. We could have a decent sized down day, and that wouldn't be surprising. If you've heard me talk the last several times, I've been talking about I wouldn't be surprised if the NASDAQ open up 200 points. I know it's a number of you have been adjusting and you've been scared about the put side. Some of you have been taking off the call side and not even putting it back on. You got to be mechanical when you do these adjustments because you do not know what's going to happen next. So if you're trying to time when to put stuff back on, you're going to be wrong too many times when that is the case. So just be mechanical about it so for example, if you were short yesterday and it was painful, especially that NQ, and if you took off that call side and didn't put back on the put side, didn't put it back on, you were really upset today because you could have reaped a lot of the benefits in that NQ if it was down today. I mean, if you had that position on. So for example, I'm barely down, and that's because of volatility. I'm barely down in this NQ because that's the way it because of volatility, but I'm okay with that, right? This is not a big issue. This R2Y here that you can see is 1340. That's about 50 points or something away. Let's just look at that really quickly. It's 36 days to go, so I'm not going to worry about that. This was a rollout, so it's a 35 delta, so I'm not going to worry about that. That call side though is really low, right? And that's a 20-point wide spread. So if I try to do this 20 points again and move this up in concert, let's just say I decided to go to here, and that is 20 points. So if I sold that 1 point wide spread, I can get $81 by just selling that going to the 22 and get some more short delta. I'm going to send that and I'm not going to force that one today right now. I'm going to let that play out because once again, it's just a 1 day move. And if I needed to, as you can see, I have 2 on the put side. I can add another one to the call side, just like the one you see me do in that IWM. All right, so the Russell is down pretty close to its lows this morning. All right, so let me see. The low for the Russell this morning is 1394 that you see there. Let's see, it's trading about 4 points above that. Everything is basically pretty close to its lows this morning. Let's see how things play out. But if you had to make an adjustment, make your adjustments. But I wouldn't be surprised if we come off these lows because I need confirmation before I think that the momentum to the upside is done, right? But we will see how that plays out. All right, so any questions to this point about being mechanical, about adjustments, about being afraid to move up that call side and so forth? Obviously, I'm not. I'm playing the seesaw kind of process. We try to demonstrate that with the day trades. Sometimes you're gonna have to move up your calls, and sometimes you're gonna have to move up your puts, and then you're gonna have to do it again, and then you're gonna have to do it again. That's just the way it works sometimes, especially if the market is going in one direction too much. And that was what the case was. For the last 2 weeks, it's been going up. So we're just getting a small drop back. The NASDAQ is still higher, over 100 points higher than what its all-time high was that it hit in February, right? So this is still ridiculously high to me. I don't want it to go down super fast, but in my opinion, it does need to go down. But we might be in this new market type of the new normal type of market, and it doesn't give you a chance to make adjustments. It goes up really fast and it goes down really fast. I hope that's not the case, but that's been what has happened over the last it seems like the last year. We've been going up a lot, and then we went down we went down fast. Obviously, the COVID-19 is something you got to kind of throw out the window because that was unprecedented. All right, so any questions before we conclude? I just want to do a quick little live pop-up today, kind of get you in the right mindset of what type of adjustments you need to do today, if you need to do any. and don't, if your deltas are okay, do not make the adjustment then. You don't have to. If your deltas are okay, don't make adjustments that you don't need to do. Don't do it out of emotion, like I mentioned earlier. Just do it based on your mechanics, being mechanical. Okay, my delta hit the 35, I'm adjusting. Okay, my delta hit the 45 because I rolled out before. Okay, I'm adjusting. Things like that. But once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we cut these losses in half today, but we'll see. All right, so any questions? If we don't have any questions, we would conclude this morning. And if you need some help, keep in mind it's probably a few people needing some help. A number of you is probably doing pretty good today, but if you need some help, I will be available, have some one-on-ones, but I'm going to try to keep those to a minimum. As you know, the one-on-ones is scheduled for 30 minutes. I normally give more than 30 minutes. So when I have to do less than the normal amount of time that I give to you, just keep in mind that it normally should only be 30 minutes. So if I only give you 20 minutes or 30 minutes, that's because obviously something is going on with other people's accounts that I need the help with. Okay. And then if you were in the situation that you needed help, you would want me to jump off and help you as well. So let's keep that in mind. All right. So if we don't have any questions, thank everyone for joining for this pop-up.
O'Brien.
Yes.
O'Brien. Yeah. Let me ask you, what would you advise if a person wanted to put a play on, or would you wait for the market to see what it's going to do, or would you advise the person to put on a new?
I would make a play here, especially in the RTY. I would make a play. You can even argue that you can make a play in the NQ because it's been so strong and it's controlled by 4 or 5 stocks that those 4 or 5 stocks are not going to have, even though they should, you can argue that they're not going to have a significant drop, and you could still get pretty far away on that NQ. I'm talking about the put side, but I would stay small, doing, if you have a small account, doing one contract, keeping it about 50 points wide, stuff like that. If you can get $100, do it get that $100. Even if you can get $100 at 30 points wide, do that. So yeah, this is a play that you can do, especially in that RTY and that NQ. I think they only reason the RTY has been down quite a bit in the last 3 days, and the NQ is just, it did well when it was going down in March compared to the other indexes, and obviously it significantly outpaced the other indexes to the upside. So and then today, right? It's doing better than the other index is down, right? Everything else is down at least 2%. The Nasdaq, the NQ is only down, it's down less than 2%. So that's what I mean by that. I'm afraid of that NQ. Maybe I shouldn't say afraid, but that upside seems to be a little bit more risky, even though at these levels, because people can continue to be irrational and buying the Apple and the Microsoft and the Google and the Amazon until their hands bleed, I guess. I don't know, but yes, you can do a play here. It's always a play. It's always a play because we play both sides, right? So you can. If something's going up quite a bit, you can play that call side. Something going down quite a bit, you can play that put side, or you can play the iron condor type of scenario. I prefer picking a side initially, but obviously I do iron condors as well. Any other questions this morning? Great question, Fred. All right, so if we don't have anything else, thank everyone for joining once again for this live pop-up session. We'll check in with everyone a little later in the day. Bye now.